Okay, sorry about this. I realize I'm still in a bad state. Without getting into it too much, I think some changes are coming very, very soon for me. But um, I just can't sit idly by then and not comment. I just got home and turned on the TV, and Dana Bash is running at the mouth about Trump saying something about millions voted illegally. And so here we are still today. The media is taking up the most mundane issues to talk about. I mean they're accusing Trump of making the statement that these millions of people voted illegally and not having any evidence of that. And then they use Nancy Pelosi's statement that that didn't happen. Well, I mean, she doesn't have anything to prove her position either, but they'll take her word for it. They'll bash Trump, and like I said, there's so many other things that we really need to be talking about as a nation, as the media, their responsibility to to control the narrative, to make sure that the issues that we need to be talking about are up front and not these just, like I said, the most meaningless. What does it matter? Other than the fact that they need to try to discover what's up with these illegal voting, if it's happening, and try to fix it. But really, that's not that issue is not paramount to our people today. There's so many other things that are going on out there that the media ignores and tries to keep out, of the limelight. And so, I just wanted to call that point out today while I'm listening to these very upset and very disillusioned media personalities, that are just going on ad nauseum about stuff that's just not even, should be back page, if anything. Not they're just going over and over this stuff. They need to be talking about these senators and representatives that are trying to vet all these appointments that Trump's made, and they're calling these people out on issues of morality and honesty and doing the right thing or not doing the right thing, when they themselves are the reason we're in the mess that we're in, because they are not doing their job. Why is the VA a platform issue for the president when we've got veterans, POWs like John McCain, whose very own Phoenix VA is one of the worst abusers of veterans in the system, saying nothing about it, running around playing grab ass with all these other people and not doing his job. I contact my representative, John Cornyn's office, Ted Cruz, and it's pretty much all the same thing. That's just the way the system is. We're all making money off this deal, and there's no way of calling one group out without all of us getting in trouble. So, the veterans are just fodder for that system. They just throw us like we're still providing a path for this economy to grow, either through sacrificing us on the battlefild or sacrificing us at home through this corrupt, useless VA. Which, I mean, I got a lot of stuff coming that I'm right now. I need to make sure that all these legal ramifications aren't going to be a problem, and some of the tapes or recordings that I have personal information that I'm not quite to a point where I can sit up and edit that stuff out, but that day's coming, and I know I haven't made a bunch of videos in a long time. They've been short or whatever. I've been going through a lot, and but finally making some headway, and I have so many things to talk about, that have even been brought out in the media and whitewashed and covered up, that I was right in the middle of. and they're just throwing me out with the bathwater, saying nobody was hurt. It didn't affect anybody. It affected me, personally, directly. I was directly involved with some of this stuff that's going on over there. But like I said, I need to, as much as I want to do this to protect everybody, the only thing that the VA seems that they're going to listen to is going to be some type of illegal action, because they have a system set up with the watchdog, the Congress, the Senate. They go through some atypical, function. They send an inquiry to the VA. The VA answers them, and that's the end of it. I haven't talked to my representative, the caseworker up there, coroner's office, since right, before Christmas. As far as they know, I went through one of the worst times of year to be in this condition, alone and totally abandoned by them people, and I haven't heard back from him. He just dropped the ball, and that's how they are. If you're not down there just raising hell, then they're not going to pay any attention to you. And then you get down there and you start raising hell, then they label you as a troublemaker, a problem, that it's you're the problem, you're the reason X, Y, and Z is happening, but it's not. I'm just simply demanding that the VA perform the functions that they're mandated to do. They're supposed to be there as our primary health care provider, and the quality of doctors that they have there is just gross. And I have so much more I can say about that, and I have it documented now, so it's going to carry so much more weight. But I'm just watching this Trump thing unfold, and it's been bothering me watching. I'm trying to record some of these things on this PlayStation 4 that I got, which, by the way, I got this Black Ops game, and it is awful. So you're thinking about it, getting that, man, don't. I got a PlayStation 3, and I like to play on that. So, but nevertheless, it's got some functions on there where I have access to some cable programming that I previously haven't had privy to, and I have a ability to DVR some of that on this thing. And so, I'm collecting some of their very own words and statements, and I'm going to start calling these guys out, one by one, naming names and really putting the screws to these people, like they're calling out these men, and I'm going to be the first one to tell you, now, I'm not a big Trump fan. I don't like Rick Perry. I don't like Rudy Giuliani. I don't really care for Rex Tillerson. A lot of those guys, I think, are not really the people that. I think there's a lot of rough water ahead. I don't think Trump is going to be the answer people think he's going to be. And the bad thing about political science is if you can't think critically and over project your philosophy over a span of time and space, that your actions can cause things to happen that may not be beneficial to you or your cause or the people, and backlash from certain things, and they think that that bringing all this manufacturing back to the United States is going to somehow rejuvenate the spending of the people, which the jobs kind of have to come first for the people to have the money to spend to buy the products that they want to produce, and whether or not these companies are going to want to go out there and produce this stuff in the front and wait for this money to come back in arrears is highly suspect, and the price that these goods and services are going to cost are going to be a lot more than what people are accustomed to paying. Unless these CEOs, take a cut in their, obviously they make gross amounts of money that's just way over the top, but a lot of very interesting things are coming, and I'm hoping that I can get right in the middle of this. I'm making some great strides along with my health care, and and some equipment that somebody has provided me with. So maybe get a website up here before long, and break away from this YouTube thing altogether, and not have to be constrained by their policies and procedures and what have you. But for those few of you that are out there that are following me and that listen to any of these things that I say, I want to thank you for your comments. That they go a long way towards helping somebody that's all alone and suffering, and in the deepest, darkest throes of suffering and depression. A little bit goes a long way, and I thank you for that. You guys are obviously preaching to the choir that y'all weren't the problem. It's the problem that there's only 6 people subscribe to my thing, when it's not monetized. I don't get anything for that. And so, if I were to put something on there about Shia LaBeouf or whatever his name is, or some of this other crap that this mainstream entertainment, pumps out of their filthy trash holes, that I'd have a lot more hits. But I'm not going to go down that road, and I'm content with just speaking out to the people that'll listen. Kind of like, I don't know if y'all follow Abby Martin much, but I really like some of the work that she's done, and she gets very, very little people following her, and it's a lot of the things she's saying is art or things that I already know, but it's it helps us to continue the discussion, to keep pushing down that road. We can't ever stop. And for some of these people, you don't ever know, 50, 100 years down the road, Abby Martin and some of these people, are going to be the gadflies of their day. The Socrates and Plato and all those guys were ridiculed and persecuted and even executed for their actions, corrupting the youth, I think was Plato's charge, or Socrates, I can't remember. But how ironic, that corrupting the youth was such a crime. And what is television doing today to our youth? What are these bureaucratic education departments doing to the youth? They've turned school into a joke. The bar now at school is the lowest common denominator, and that's poison. That doesn't make us smarter. That doesn't challenge our kids. We need to challenge them and push them. And if some of the kids can't make it, then sorry. Find something else to do. We've turned everything on its head so that we are appeasing these people that have the least amount of knowledge, of talent, of drive, of all the above, and ostracize the people that we should be, praising and pushing and using for our growth and prosperity. It's all turned around. Bullies are bullies, and I don't like bullies, but not everybody's a bully. Some of these trends are just a social order where they're trying to correct you and push you in the right direction, and you deviate and go off track from society. Then that's what your peers are supposed to do, is to pressure you to get back in control of yourself. And what we're doing to these kids is telling them, that I don't know, but they're very influential at that age, and they don't really know what they're doing, and a lot of what they're doing is just because they're getting attention for doing it. Just like you throw a temper tantrum and cry in the grocery store, they're being appeased with this transgender stuff, and they're like, way too young to even have developed that type of thinking yet. Needless to say, I'm drooling out of my mouth here real bad. I'm gonna have to stop this for now, but More to come. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me, and hopefully we're going to see a better side to this in the days to come. Hang in there with me, and I appreciate it.